my name is Vina, aka Miss WC Reader, and welcome back to my channel. And it's April. I see everybody reflecting on their first quarter, so I just wanted to do the same. Mine might be a little bit all over the place, but here it is. So I was looking back at videos from last year because last year April was really like the last month of any type of levity that I had. Like May through the rest of the year was just extremely hard for me. Like it was compounding hard. Like it got worse and worse and worse, and then completely blew up. So anybody who has been following me knows like it's been a bit of a struggle time for me. And so I had all this free time while I'm searching for a new job to really sit down and reflect, which has been a little bit hard to do. But also I've had time to just take a step back and care about me and do things that I enjoy. So to keep busy, I've also been putting a lot into YouTube, and like that monthly recap's been telling me like your effort is paying off, your channel is growing, you are getting more views. So I actually originally thought I would be taking a break during this time, but then you know how life works out. You think you're going to do one thing and then something else ends up happening. So I didn't have like that break that some people had back in 2020 where their job was shut down and they were just at home. I was actually working the hardest that I ever worked in my life during that time, just because I was an essential worker working in a very tough industry during that time. So I never really got to sit and have that mental break. So in some ways it has been good to be able to just sit down and relax for a little bit, even though I'm still trying not to do like not completely relax. Like I get up every day by 9 a.m. because I feel like if I sleep any later then I'm not being productive, and I'm trying to get things done. I really threw myself into writing at the end of last year because I needed a distraction, and I made so much progress in the story I've been writing, and things started really coming together for me with it. And now my goal is to finish draft 1 by the end of spring, which it doesn't feel like I'm going to meet it, but I am going to try really hard. And fingers crossed that I do make it. But I was writing in October every day, writing every day in November, fell off in December because I just went on like a little mini vacation to DC solo by myself. I really did need that because just so much was going on at that time. And so that was very healing for me. And then this year, as I've been on the job hunt, like I still try to get up every day and read a little bit or write a little bit. I've been enjoying TV again because I kind of fell off watching TV completely, and then because I just could not stand sitting and listening to like the noise, like I couldn't be in silence last year, so I started like picking back up streaming shows and stuff again, and it's been interesting actually observing some TV shows too, and like being able to take things away from certain TV shows that have helped me improve my writing. So I am reading a book right now. I'm reading The Gardens of Eden by Rosie Lee. I had started this a couple of months ago and then kind of fell off and never finished it. And you know, my moods are all over the place. I'll say I want to read a book and then I just won't ever pick it up. So I picked this one back up, and so far like I'm getting into it again. I had to start over just because I felt like I needed to start over because I only was a few chapters into it anyway. And it's been interesting reading this, but also like I've been observing how different authors write their faith into stories. Like I'm not like as like super Christian, like I'd say, as some of the people in my life. Like my mom goes to church consistently every Sunday. I have not done that in years. I still have a relationship with God, and I want to write a character who does have a relationship with God, but maybe like it's not as strong of a relationship. Maybe they're trying to figure out what their relationship is like. And like I remember being in college, like I would go to a church occasionally, but I also like on a weekly basis had this Christian group on my campus that I was involved with, and they were such a big part of my life, and I would not have gotten through college without them. But then I had friends who like wanted nothing to do with religion. Like my best friend was joking to me last month about how she was really trying to be in her atheist era during college, like just for no reason at all. Like she was just like really one of those people who would just like challenge every little thing you said about God. And then she had met somebody through her sorority who like just changed like her whole way of thinking, and right now she is stronger in her faith and trying to become stronger in her faith. So I think that's just interesting to watch. And I've talked to so many people where like they said they had that moment in college where everything was overwhelming and they were feeling a little homesick, and then they ran to church, because a lot of people run to church because it has that community. And I feel like we don't talk about it as much in the Black community, but we know church has been a place, very big place of community. It's been a big place for organizing things. Like we owe so much of this rights movement to the organization that started in church. So many of our leaders like came up through church. So I always find it interesting when we can explore the role that church has in our community. And so with the book that I'm currently writing, she's like not uber religious. Like her mom tells her, you know, try and go to church, but she's not going. She's worried about all these different things going on in her life between college and this new magical society she's in. So I wanted to bring her feelings about faith into the story in some capacity. So I'm working that out right now. So it's just been interesting trying to like read these different stories and see how these other authors approach their faith. I also like, it's crazy. I made my whole TBR and then I added more books. So I have right here like this big pile of physical books that I don't know if I'm actually going to finish reading it. So many of these I do want to read and I need to read. Some of them I actually forgot about when I was making my TBR. And I mean, I have some audiobooks that's going to help a little bit with this, but I really don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that or not. So we'll see. But I feel like I'm rambling, but I really wanted to just come up here and talk about how things are going for me right now. Like for the next couple of months, it's really just to finish writing my story, find a job. I don't really have any hard set reading goals just because I feel like 2020, 2021, 2022 to a lesser extent, I read so many books, and I was reading, especially to kind of like give me a distraction from the other things that were going on in life. Like I was just throwing myself in the book. I was reading hundreds of books. Even right now, I've read like about 45 books, but to be fair, a lot of them are like children's books and chapter books and stuff too. I've been trying to find books that appeal to my nieces and get them to enjoy reading, because it is hard. I applaud anybody working with children right now. I've done plenty of volunteer work in the schools, helping with financial literacy through my previous job. I used to volunteer with kids before, and even when I was like younger, I used to volunteer at the after school program with kids like a few years younger than me and work with them. And so, especially coming from a lower income area where I've just seen for years and years and years people kind of struggle in education, I really feel for them, because it is not easy. And I feel like the same issues that we were having back in my day are actually like a little bit worse now, especially with the pandemic. And we had technology and everything when I was younger, but like we had dial-up internet for the longest while, so you could only use the internet in increments. We didn't have smartphones until I was in like high school. So things are very different, and I see like even bringing over my nieces and stuff how they're on the phone, on the phone, on the phone. They don't want to read. They don't want to really learn things. It's like I try to like read these books and try to have these discussions. Like we watch PBS and we try to pick up things from there. And I know the discussions that we're having in some of these books are age appropriate, but it's like they're not getting it. So I've been trying to find these books that are going to appeal to them, that are not too long, that don't have like too much extra vocabulary, and that's been a bit of a challenge. And when I find those books, I also try and post about them on my blog, and I share them on here, although here's like a kind of a different audience. Like I think less my audience needs that here versus in other spaces, but I still like to share that stuff here. And yeah, so overall, I've actually learned some things too just from children's writers, like especially like like some of the TV shows and stuff, that has actually helped me with my own writing. So that's been nice too. And like I said, I don't have any set book goals, but I do have plenty of books that I plan on reading and enjoying the next few months, and I will hopefully be able to share some good ones with you guys. And yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, so this is my reflection for the first quarter. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you made it this far, just leave me a yellow heart emoji. And I hope you guys have a good spring. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!